Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Sun Devil Learning Labs. If you've been watching some of our other episodes and other content, you might recognize me. My name is Miss Kopp. For the last few weeks, I have been teaching kindergarten English, but my teaching partner, Miss Lizaraga, and I switched positions to spice it up a little bit. So for the next few weeks, Miss Kopp, I will be teaching kindergarten math, and my teaching partner, Miss Lizaraga, will be teaching kindergarten English language arts. So keep hopping back and forth between our videos. We love having you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. And if this is your first time tuning in, then we are happy to have you. Let's jump right in. Like I said, my name is Miss Kopp, and today we are working on kindergarten mathematics. We're working on our math foundation. So that means, what are those basic skills that we need to build in kindergarten to become really, really amazing when we're doing math, when we're adding and subtracting and working with numbers. So those are all things that we will grow and build to one day, but for now we're working on those foundation skills. So today is week 5, day 1 of this Math Foundations program. Like I said, my name right here, Miss Kopp, that's K-O-P-P, that is me. So this is our agenda and our materials for today. So this just means over in this green square, our agenda. That means, what are we doing today? If you want to take a little preview at what we're doing, we're going to work with our numbers, work on our grip on our writing utensils like crayons or markers. We're going to do a little read aloud of this really cool book, Who Has These Feet? It's sitting right here behind me. And then we're going to do a little game about that book. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Materials for today means, what will you need today for this lesson? You will only need these materials if you want to practice writing our number of the day. So only if you want to practice writing, you will need these materials. The materials you'll need is a crayon or a pencil, something to write with, maybe a marker, a pen, and then we'll also need some paper or something to write on. Maybe it's some cardboard out of the recycling, maybe it's the newspaper, whatever you have to write on. And then if you would like, I like to hang my paper while I write on it, so it's vertical instead of horizontal. So if you want to hang your paper, you can get some tape or a thumbtack or some putty that you can stick to the wall, or you can just hold it up against the wall yourself. That's perfect too. So those are our materials for today. So next we have our standards. Those are just a big fancy word for what are we going to be able to do after this lesson. What knowledge are we going to build? How are we going to help our brains become even smarter and even better at math and with numbers? So you can take a little preview of this if you want to see what we're working on today, but let's just jump right into it. We're going to work with first our number line. We're going to be working on our number line every single day for this math program. So our number line, that's this part right here in this pink and yellow boxes. That's our number line. This is a line that has numbers written on it. 0, 1. Go ahead and say it with me out loud. We'll count all the way from 0 to 10. And just like when we read from left to right. So we have our arrow at the top of our number line showing us we read from left to right, over to the right. So let's start at 0 and read our numbers up to 10, and we'll follow it on the number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's our number line. It helps us count our numbers. We can see our numbers this way. We can see our numbers growing from small numbers on the left to bigger numbers on the right. So that's our number line. It's okay if you don't feel super comfortable with it right away. That's totally fine, because we are going to look at this every day. We're going to keep talking about it and keep working with our numbers. So you don't have to feel totally amazing about this number line right now, because we're going to keep looking at it and keep talking about it. So now it's time for our number of the day. Our number of the day today, go ahead and say this number out loud if you can read it and you know what number this is. This is the number 1. The number 1. If we are showing the number 1 on our hands, counting with our fingers to show the number 1, I would show you 1 finger. This is 1. So 1 is our number of the day today. 1 on our number line, you can see it's almost at the very beginning. 0 is at the very beginning, then 1. That's where we usually start counting. 1 thing. So our number of the day is 1. If you want to practice writing the number 1, we're going to have to talk about our grip, about how we hold what we're writing with. So I write with, I have these little colored pens that I use when I'm at home. I have, unfortunately, all my crayons and markers and stuff are in my classroom at school. So at home, I just have all these kind of fun colored pens. So today I'm going to practice writing with one of those pens. Go ahead and take out your materials right now. If you want to practice writing, take out your paper, something to write with, maybe something to hang your paper if you wanted to hang your paper while you practice. So I'm going to take a little piece of tape and just a tiny little piece. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to flip my board around and tape my piece of paper up here so you can see what I'm writing. So go ahead and do the same if you're ready to write. We are going to talk about how do you hold what we're going to write with. So maybe you have a crayon, maybe you have a marker, maybe you have a highlighter, maybe you have a pen like mine. So to hold it, to be able to write really well, first you're going to take your pointer finger and your thumb, and you're going to pinch. You're going to pinch the bottom of whatever you're going to use to write. So maybe, like I said, maybe this is a crayon, maybe it's a marker, maybe it's a highlighter. You're going to pinch the bottom end of it, pinch. Then the last thing you need to do is take your middle finger, and just let your marker rest right on top of it. You see how my marker is sitting on top of my middle finger. So this is called the tripod grip. I will talk about this every day. So like I said, it's okay if you don't feel super comfortable with it right now, because we're going to keep working on it and keep practicing it. So this is called the tripod grip. If you've been watching our English language arts videos, you probably have heard me talk about it quite a bit, because it's really important how we hold what we're writing with. It's really important how we use our fingers. So to warm up our fingers, to get them ready to write really amazing numbers, I have a little number warm-up game for us. So to do it, all you need to do is touch the tip of each finger to your thumb, and it's going to give your hands and your finger a really good workout. So you do it one at a time. My pointer finger and my thumb, my middle finger and my thumb, my ring finger and my thumb, and my pinky finger and my thumb. So if you want an extra challenge, you can try to do it a little bit faster. Maybe try to do it backwards with your pinky, then your ring, then your middle, then your pointer. Pinky, middle. Oh, I got it wrong. Pinky, ring, middle, pointer. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Feel free to pause the video right here and practice that for a little while. You can do it on either hand, and it's great practice to get your fingers and your hand muscles thinking about how are we going to write and how are we going to write well. So with that, let me show you the instructions that I have for how to write the number 1. So the number 1 is really, really cool because some people write it different ways. Sometimes the 1 looks like this, where it has a fancy little hat and some shoes on the bottom. And sometimes 1 looks like this, where it's just one straight line. So for you guys, it will be easier to start writing 1 like this. This is number 1. I have a little rhyme for us to help make writing it a little bit easier. It says, number 1 is like a stick, a straight line that is very quick. So all we have to do to make a number 1 is a straight line that is very quick. Number 1 is like a stick, a straight line that is very quick. So if you want to practice, go ahead and pause the video here for a moment and practice writing the number 1 with your crayon or your marker on your piece of paper. So like you can see in the picture, you just start at the very top. It's the first step. You start at the top and you just draw a straight line down. That is called a vertical line, up and down, and it's up and down. So you start at the top and you move down. Oh, you can probably not see that because I'm still small. There you go. So we start at the top and move down. Oh, my paper moved all over while I was doing that. Let's try it one more time. You start at the top and you move down. So that is a number 1. Go ahead and pause the video here if you want to take a little more time practicing the number 1. Or I can also have the instructions for how to do that fancy number 1. Let me go back here for you. Here we go. So if you'd like to pause the video and practice this fancy number 1, these are the steps to do that. First, you go up, then second, you go down, and third, you go across. So you can pause the video here if you'd like to keep those instructions up for practicing writing the number 1 that way, or you can do it the simpler way, where it's just one straight line down. So our number of the day is 1. So here we call this 4 corners. This is 4 different ways of showing the number 1. So right here in the middle, we have that fancy one like we were talking about with its little party hat and its fancy shoes. That's our 1, our number 1. Over here, we have the word 1. This is how you spell the word 1. So the name of this number, that is how you write it using letters. O-N-E, 1. Over here on the left, on the upper left square in our screen, this is called a tens chart. Once we get into school and get into kindergarten, you'll probably be using these tens charts a lot. They're really, really helpful when we're using numbers in between 1 and 10. So the way that we show 1 on this 10 chart, you can see we have 1 circle. So we know there's just 1. 1. And we'll be using this every single day, so you'll get to see what it looks like when we have different numbers using the tens chart. So today it's just 1. Down here in this bottom left square, we have what does it look like to tally the number 1 when you just make a tally mark. So that is 1 tally mark. And over here on the bottom right corner of the screen, it is a picture of 1 cat. It is 1 cat, right? There's not 2 or 3 or 4 cats. There is just 1 cat. So that is our number of the day today, 1. We'll be working on a different number of the day every day. So keep on checking in and keep on watching and see which numbers we go over next. I will be doing numbers 1 through 5 for this week. So keep on watching our day 5 episodes. Week 5 episodes. Now we're getting into our read aloud. This is called Who Has These Feet? So that's our story for today. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? Our author of this story is Laura Hulbert. That is who wrote our story, Laura Hulbert, and it's illustrated by Eric Brooks. Eric Brooks created the pictures, the illustrations for this story. So who has these feet? This week we're going to be reading books all about different kinds of animals. So I hope you love talking about animals and all the amazing things that they do. Every day this week, like I said, we'll have a different book about a different kind of animal. So this book is actually about a lot of animals. Let's see if you can guess any of the animals that they're talking about. Who has these feet? I'm actually going to have a sip of water before we start our read aloud. I recommend you have a drink of something too if you have something near you. Wow. Okay, that's way better. So who has these feet? Who has these feet? Go ahead and say it out loud. What kind of animal do you think has these feet? Who has these feet? A polar bear has these feet. A polar bear has fur on the bottom of its feet, so it won't slip on the ice. So polar bears live all on ice, so their feet help them make sure they don't slip and fall when they're walking on that ice. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? Who has those feet? Go ahead and say it out loud if you have a guess of who has these feet. A tree frog has these feet. A tree frog has sticky pads on its toes so it can stick to leaves. So you can see, look, that frog is sticking with his sticky toes to stick onto those leaves. Look, he's really sticking on, isn't he? Hanging on with his sticky toes. So that's a tree frog has those feet. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? Any guesses? Go ahead. Who has these feet? A duck has these feet. A duck has webbed feet so it can go fast in the water. So webbed means like he has that skin in between his toes. That helps him swim. It helps him push more water with his feet. So he can swim faster, which probably helps keep him safe. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? Who has these feet? An ant has these feet. An ant has claws on the end of its feet so it can dig a nest under the ground. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? I don't know this one. A squirrel has these feet. A squirrel has claws on its toes so it can run up and down trees. You can see this squirrel looks like he's running up and down a tree right now, huh? Squirrel looks like they're looking for some food or something. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? I wonder, who has these feet? A parrot has these feet. A parrot has 2 toes in front and 2 toes in back, so it can hold on to the branches. So you can see the parrot's feet right there. They're holding on. 2 toes wrap around the front and 2 toes wrap around the back so that it holds on to the branches so he doesn't fall off. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? A desert lizard has these feet. A desert lizard has special scales around its toes so it won't sink down into the sand. So that lizard lives all in sand and its toes help it keep it from slipping and sliding down into the sand. Excuse me. Who has these feet? Who has these feet? A sea turtle has these feet. A sea turtle has flippers, so it can pull itself through the water. So same as the duck, right? It has a big foot, a big feet to help push it through the water, help it swim. Who has these feet? Who has these giant feet? A kangaroo has these feet. A kangaroo has big feet, so it can hop for a long way as it looks for food. So those big feet help them travel a long, long distance while they look for food. And then here's a little collage of all of them. Who has these feet? Look at all those happy animal faces. So today our story talked about a ton of different animals. I think there were 6 different animals we talked about in total. And check out this very last page. It's one of those unfolding books. So I have to be really delicate with it. We have these feet, and it's all the animals that we talked about today. We have these feet. I love little guessing books like that where we have to try to figure out whose feet are these? I'm not exactly sure. And now we're actually going to get to do a little game, a little counting game using that book that we just read. Who has those feet? So our game is how many feet on a page? How many feet on a page? So we are going to randomly flip open to a page in the book, and we're going to count how many feet are on that page. Maybe it's frog feet, maybe it's kangaroo feet, maybe it's sea turtle feet, right? So we're going to find out how high we can count using feet. So let me come back big screen for us. I'm gonna have another sip of water. That reading really makes my throat dry. That's way better. And I live in the desert, not like this polar bear that lives in the snow. I live somewhere where it's really, really hot and really, really dry. So I have to drink a lot of water all the time to stay healthy. So if you live in the desert too, maybe here in Arizona, you should definitely always be thinking about drinking water. Anytime your mouth gets dry or your throat gets dry, that's your body telling you, I'm thirsty, let's go get a drink. So go get a drink when you're feeling that way. You can always pause these videos if you need a moment to run to the bathroom or to go get a drink, whatever you need to do. We'll be here when you get back. So now let's do our counting game. Who has these feet? How many feet on a page? So let's just flip open to, I'll close my eyes and we'll flip open to a page. Oh, the parrot page, okay. So let's see if we can count how many feet this parrot has. So I'll give you a second, pause the video here, and you can look at this picture and tell me how many feet are on this page. How many feet do you see in this picture? I see 1 foot, 2 feet. And it tells us on this page, a parrot has 2 toes in front and 2 toes in back. So let's count his toes. Here's 1 toe, 2 toes, 3 toes, 4 toes, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 toes. So this parrot has 2 feet. Each of the parrot's feet has 4 toes. So all together on this page, there's 2 feet and there's 8 toes. That's awesome on just one parrot. So let's do it again. Let me close my eyes and we'll flip to a random page in the book. Hopefully it's not the same picture of the parrot. It was the same picture of the parrot. Okay, maybe I'll try to get something more at the beginning this time. Let's see. Okay, it's not the parrot. So let's see if we can count how many feet are on this page. So we can see there's 2 ants, right? Here's 1 ant, 2 ants, 2 ants. Let's see how many feet are on this page. I will hold this up close. If you want to pause the video here, you can take a minute to look at this picture and tell me how many feet do you see in this picture? How many feet do we see in this picture? I will count some and see how many I can find. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 feet between these 2 ants. 8 feet. There's one more ant on this side. We can count his legs too. This is a different page. So pause the video here again. Go ahead and pause the video and look at the picture up close. How many legs do you see in this picture? I'll count how many I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see 5 legs in that picture. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 legs in that picture. So So let's do one more of these. How many feet on a page? I wonder, go ahead and make a prediction. Take a guess. What animal do you think we are going to land on next to count? Make a prediction. What animal are we going to count next? Let me close my eyes. I'll flip open to a page. And it's not the parrot, thank goodness. So how many feet are on this page? I'll pause, or go ahead and pause the video here and look at the picture up close. How many feet do you see on this page? I see one big foot and two big feet. Remember, these feet are of the desert lizard, who doesn't want to sink in the sand. His feet really help him. So in this picture, let's see how many feet do you see in this picture of the lizard? Before we could just see two of his feet, but now I see 1, 2, 3 of his feet. So I think he probably has a fourth foot hanging out somewhere back here on the other side that we just can't see. But right now we can see 3 of his feet. 1, 2, 3. 3 of his feet. So like I said, all week long, we're going to be talking about all kinds of different animals. So if you love animals, please keep watching these week 5 episodes. Like I said, they will have tons of animal talk and tons of different animal games at the end of each episode as well. So I will always give you guys some little things to practice at home, some ways you can practice. Maybe it's counting or sorting. Today is a little bit of practice with counting. So for some practice with recognizing your numbers, it's a 2-person game. You can add more people if you want, but you need at least 2 people. So the first person will hold up a number 1 through 5 on their hands, using their fingers to show it 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Then player 2 will say what number is on their hands, is on player 1's hands. And that is the game. You can go back and forth as many times as you want. So if I was playing with you guys, if you are guessing the number, I would hold up a number 1 through 5. So let's do, and you say, what number is this? It's the number 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can do this at home. You can do it with 2 people, or like I said, you can do it with more people. If you want to do it a little harder, you can use both hands and make numbers all the way up to 10. Maybe you want to say 7. Maybe you want to say 9. Maybe you want to say 2. You can do whichever numbers you want. So that's our first way to practice at home. Another fun little practice for recognizing numbers, that's called subatizing, a big fancy word, to recognize numbers of something right away, is to use a dice. All you need is 1 dice. You can play this with as many people as you want, or even just 1 person. Roll the dice, and as fast as you can, say what number it lands on. And that's how you practice, right? Because dice actually have a picture of a number. They don't have a number written out. They have a picture of a number. So practice recognizing that picture on the dice and what number it is. So those are 2 little ways to practice at home if you've got some extra time and you're thinking about math. If you would like more practice at home, please keep tuning in for the rest of these week 5 episodes. We will have tons and tons of math practice and activities and games that you can do at home to practice all of these wonderful math skills. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode, week 5, day 1 of the Sun Devil Learning Labs Kindergarten Math. Again, my name is Miss Kopp. It has been so much fun teaching you guys today. I will be here the rest of the week teaching math as well. So like I said, please keep on tuning in and joining us. We're happy to have you. Stay safe until I see you next time.